You've taken the risks, built the capital, poured your soul into this project. But that's par for the course as a developer. It takes ambition, persistence, hard work, and, oh, who are we kidding? People don't care about all that. You're not a principled genius. It's more like,
I've got a huge, classy hotel standing there, and it's staring at that cheap garbage. I want it staring at the supercuts.
in virtually every evil developer film, developers are nothing more than reprehensibly wealthy elites, out to enrich themselves. And when they're feeling generous, to pander to people who are already as rich as they are. Think for us, by us, but instead maybe for rich jerks by rich jerks, or for entitled wealthy souls by entitled wealthy souls. Yeah, catchy. On film, it's never the actual work that goes into being a developer. Instead, it's nothing but distasteful behavior, berating colleagues, sexually harassing anyone within sight, hobnobbing with rich investors while regular people suffer, as if that is the job. Hungry for a taste of the loathing that neighborhood residents often have for developers? Let's roll the footage. The hateable rich guy trope has been a part of the evil developer character since the very beginning.
Look at you. You used to be so cocky. You were going to go out and conquer the world. You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. What are you but a warped, frustrated young man?
And it's been with us ever since. Like death and taxes, it feels inevitable. Developers are rich and they are awful. Case closed. If that sounds a bit reductive, it is. But then, these developers are almost never depicted as rounded characters. They're as two-dimensional as, well, as their own faces, which they plaster anywhere they can. A big part of this dehumanization stems from the fact that movies never show the path developers took to get where they are. None of the grit, determination, integrity, and ingenuity, just the abominable way they behave now. Watch enough of these movies, and you wouldn't be wrong for thinking developers never actually work. Instead, their days seem to involve floating around from boardroom to gala event, occasionally cutting ribbons at... Wait, those scissors aren't nearly big enough. That's more like it. But where do you even buy those? Office Max? Get it? Max. Instead, it's like they were always rich, like bandits in old westerns who just are villains. Except instead of robbing and terrorizing people, they, well, actually, that pretty much is what movie developers do. Okay, moving on. It's extremely rare to even catch a glimpse of anything that happened in a developer's past. If it does happen, it's typically disparaged. Who needs that useless diploma? Or only the love interest that gets to see it. Certainly not the general public. Of course, this developer was later punished for this moment of tenderness by being outed as a selfish beastard and having his high-rise destroyed to block a stream of lava flowing through downtown Los Angeles. I mean, actions do have consequences, right? You wouldn't know it from watching these films, but in the real world, it is just barely possible to be wealthy and not be terrible. Shocking, I know. But it highlights just how intentional these films are when they connect developers with wealth with distastefulness. Films pull this off by having developers engage in some nasty stereotypes of rich people, like feeling they can get away with sexual harassment, or routinely abusing their employees, or having extremely tacky taste. Bottom line, developers are only wealthy scumbags, never hardworking professionals. What's the point of all this? It's all part of the case these movies make that there's nothing redeeming about what developers do. It's not like they're decent, rational people making business decisions you might not agree with. They're simply awful and totally different from you, which makes opposing their plans a complete no-brainer. If you're a good person, you simply must stand against them. If only they were like those nice, quiet, awful rich people who kept to their country clubs and drank the tears of displaced communities in private. But instead, they're coming into your neighborhood and trying to change things around, to further enrich themselves, or to spread the wealth around to, well, to other rich people. Has a movie developer ever made a positive contribution to the existing community? I'll field that question. The answer is no. It's all luxury condos and upscale shopping malls, or Tony Lobster restaurants for rich vacationers. Our country clubs on prime adventuring territory. Evil developers are hateable in large part because they're rich. Always have been, always will be, and they're always on the lookout to use their riches to benefit themselves and their cronies. Never to actually build something that brings value to the community. Are you letting neighborhood residents believe this about you? Check out the secret formula to find out, and to find out what you can do about it. Unless this look works for you. In which case,
Hero,
nice robe?